and sit through another world war. He, however, descends from the bloodline of the ancient order of elite samurais who used to fight against the evil of the world. According to the legends that his father, who was a lecturer at the temple, told him, 500 years ago, this earth was on the brink of getting destroyed because of a legendary monster that was on the rise and was killing everyone that came in his sight. Everyone was scared of him and ran away from the villages as soon as they heard that this monster was even remotely nearby. One of his ancestors, however, a strong samurai, used a spear, which was created in China specially for the purpose of slaying monsters, to impale this giant monster to the wall, successfully stopping the monster. But in the process, he ended up dying. Bushido has listened to this story countless times and is pretty much done with this story about a legendary monster, a legendary spear, and a legendary samurai. None of them exist today, and there is no evidence for any spears or monsters. Even this morning, he has a small tussle with his father, in which this absolute unit of a man ended up kicking his own father in the jaw. Later on, Bushido tells his dad to shut the hell up or show him the legendary spear that he keeps talking about. They again start fighting about this, until his father gets up and starts packing his stuff. Bushido asks whether he is leaving for good, but his father tells him that he is just going on a vacation for 7 days to Netflix and chill and be away from his irritating face. Wow, they seem to be more toxic than my ex. They should probably drink some water. Bushido's father tells him to dust the books in the shed and show them some light before going, and Ushio tells him to piss off before closing the door. Later that day, he decides to fulfill his father's wishes and goes inside of the shed to dust the books. But while carrying the giant load of books, his legs get stuck in something and he falls over. He gets up to examine the ground and is surprised to see a trapdoor right beneath him that he has never seen before because it was covered by a carpet. He grabs the handles and tries to open the door, but the door seems to be very thick and heavy, just like the woman next door. This musclehead decides to use brute strength and literally rips the bolts of the door apart somehow, but is unable to handle the weight of the door and falls inside. He gets up and cleans the dust off of him, when suddenly he feels a very eerie presence behind him. He turns around slowly just to see a giant yellow-colored monster sitting near the wall. This scares the crap out of him, and then to put the icing on the top, the monster is alive as it starts talking. He asks why Ushio is staring at him, as it is creepy even for the monster. Then the monster suddenly tells Ushio that it is good that he came down, as he is currently impaled by this damn spear, and only a human can pull it out of him. The monster tells him that he has been trying to get himself out of this situation from the past 500 years, but no matter what he does, he cannot seem to get rid of the damned spear. He tells Ushio again to remove the spear, but Ushio asks him what he will do if he does. The monster looks him in the eye and tells him that first he will devour Ushio, and then he will kill the rest of the people living around, and once again create this world a living hell. Ushio starts kicking the spear more inside of the monster, and the monster starts crying out of pain as he doesn't realize why Ushio doesn't want to let him loose from the spear. The monster then tries to attack Ushio and is able to reach him with his nails, cutting him above the forehead, but Ushio is a Giga-Chad and just keeps pushing the spear even more inside of him. He then gets up and starts going up the stairs, but the monster gets scared of losing his chance to escape and starts calling him and saying that he didn't mean what he said and that he just got carried away by the thought of freedom. He tells Ushio that if he pulls the spear out of him, he will do whatever he says and he will keep this promise as he is scared of humans. Ushio, however, looks at him and tells him that he will not let a monster like him lose in this world ever, and walks outside and proceeds to bore the entire trapdoor up while the monster cries out to him to not do it. Ushio then proceeds to go to school as if nothing had happened. The balls on this man must be made up of steel. He meets up with two of his classmates named Ino and Naka, who both seem to like Ushio. Ino is the bubbly, loving type, whereas Naka is the classic tsundere. Ino comments that Ushio seems to be lost in his own thoughts and asks him whether he was okay. Even Naka comments that it is not like Ushio to think about anything ever before she asks him whether he brought the book that he borrowed from her several days back, and Ushio says he hasn't. Naka tells him that she will be coming after school to his place, so he better keep the book ready, and they all go inside their classes. Even in class, Ushio can't help but think about the monster in his basement and starts drawing a picture of it before he is invited to play soccer. He has amazing reflexes and is able to win the game very easily for his team before he decides to go back to his place. In the afternoon, Naka, alongside Ino, visits his house to get the book back, but as soon as Ushio opens the door, he spots some weird transparent flying thingies that look like the floaters that you see sometimes in your eyes. He gets freaked out by them, and not going to lie, the first time I saw floaters in my eye, I was scared as well. He tries to get rid of them, but to the girls it looks like Ushio has gone insane. And to bring him back to reality, Naka kicks him in the face. Excellent job, woman. Now he has amnesia as well. Ushio gets up and runs towards the shed, where he starts taking the wooden planks apart and shouts at the monster, asking him what he did to his eyes as he is seeing illusions. The monster laughs at him and tells him that when Ushio opened the trapdoor, 500 years worth of demonic energy was released in the outside world, which attracted lesser demons, and he can probably see them earlier only because he saw him inside of the shed. The monster tells him that the lesser demons will materialize soon and start killing humans left and right. He then tells Ushio that it is all his fault that his precious little friends will die, and he cannot do anything about it, but the monster promises that if he frees him, he will not kill Ushio or his friends and will get rid of every single lesser demon in the area. Not having a choice, Ushio goes down and grabs the spear with both hands. He then starts pulling the spear, and after some effort, the spear gets free of the monster's body. The monster is impressed by Ushio's pull-out game, but decides to attack him anyways. Ushio is thrown against the wall and he starts bleeding. He looks at the monster and asks him why would he do that, and the monster laughs in his face and tells him that he must be dumber than a cupboard to think that he will keep his promise to a weak little human. Ushio can't believe himself and thinks about the girls in trouble. Before he starts getting angry, an unholy aura starts generating around him. His hair also starts growing, which scares the living out of him. He curses himself for not noticing that the boy still had the legendary spear, and looks in horror as Ushio starts looking more and more like the samurai who impaled him in the first place. Ushio is still pursuing the monster even though he freaks out and runs outside, killing every lesser demon in his path. The monster runs and suddenly becomes Pikachu, shocking every demon around him to a crisp and saying sorry to Ushio and promising that he will kill every demon. Ushio looks towards the house and notices that the demons have congregated and became one huge entity. He tells the monster to go and attack the greater demon first, and that he will finish it off soon after. The monster listens to Ushio without a word and jumps in the sky, using his claws to tear through the demon, before Ushio jumps and shreds the demon to pieces with the help of the spear. He lands down and his hair starts falling off, and the monster tells him that he kept his promise and killed the lesser demons and starts to walk away, but Ushio stops his path and tells him that more demons are around, and until they have killed every single demon, he is going to stay with him. He names the monster Tora and starts walking towards his house with him, thinking that a day will come soon when he will impale the monster and seal him again. The following day, Ushio wakes up to the loud sound of Tora breaking his TV as he thought the samurai inside of it was coming to kill him. Ushio goes to school alongside Tora, who is sitting on his shoulder and is invisible to the rest of the students. Ushio is forced to carry his spear with him, as he needs the spear to draw out his powers in case Tora decides to rebel. He meets up with Ino and Naka inside of the school, who claim that they both had the same scary dream last night about a bunch of monsters trying to kill him. Ushio just smiles, glad that they don't know what happened in reality. He asks them about where they were headed to, and they reply that they are going inside of the old school building to shift some books as they want to renovate it. Ushio reminds her that the class begins soon, and she replies that she will be back before that. Ushio goes inside of the class, but some time passes by, and the girls still haven't returned. The teacher has already started teaching about Japanese history, and out of everyone in the class, Tora seems to be the most interested in knowing what happened in the last 500 years and is even taking notes. Suddenly, the ground shakes